pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move right into the minutes of the 12/2/2019 board meeting. I do have one correction. Page 2, where read Supervisor Wilt informed the board that Verizon is proposing small cell towers on municipal property. There are 6 small cell towers that will improve phone and internet service, but the towers have to be placed on municipal property. Supervisor Wilt feels that this shouldn't cost the town a lot of money, and it shouldn't cost the town any money.
Okay. That's even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something else that struck me. The resolution following that one for the approval of the audit. I don't think we have a motion on that. Motion and a second.
Oh, and approving the bills? Oh, I didn't move it, I just had it was adopted by, okay.
So I'm not,
I could tell you who it was.
Yeah, I think so, I just didn't put it in. Nancy, Mike was second.
Sounds right.
So, okay, so I'll put it down at Nancy and then seconded by Mike.
okay. Sounds good to me. So I don't know if anybody moved on that, but
I was still on vacation.
if nobody's moved that, I'll move it.
Moved by Bob
I'll second.
and second by Mike. All in favor with corrections?
Abstain.
Opposed? One abstention. Public comments, anyone?
Me,
Nate, please state your name.
Joy Eliezer, South Shore Road. I had to call Debbie this week. She was terrific with her answers, but I have something to bring up before the board. In this day and age, we are going to hit 2020. I do believe that this board should approve of paying for their bills and people paying their bills online. I need to pay my taxes, and I would like to pay them early. Can't do that. And Debbie is going to forward a bill to me through my phone, but I can't pay it from my phone. I can't pay it from my bank. I have to write a check, I have to cut a check and send it. Why are we not, in this town, on the same page as even our church? I can pay for my church online. I can pay for everything online. And we can't do it here in town. That's just my comment, and I bring it before the board.
First of all, it's my decision if I want to have bills put online or resign the tax collector. Number 2, the tax bills are going to be even later this year than the 1st of January. So I just got word from Barry that he might be getting the bills on the 30th of December. Might. So I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of angry people that aren't going to be able to pay it on the 1st like we normally do. But it's something that's an option about paying online. Maybe it will happen next year. But I have not attempted to do that at this point in time.
Because I pay everything online.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Mine is not quite as serious as that. I agree with Joy, I probably should be doing that, but I'm happy with the bills coming a little later. I rise to admit to being an old man, and that most of you folks probably are not aware of this, but today is a black day in the Speculator. No more daily papers.
For a lot of folks, that doesn't matter a bit, but for those of us who read 2 a day, I was stunned, knocked off my pins, and I said, I always thought that papers would die when I did, but apparently here in town, you're not gonna be able to get daily papers.
Get it online.
Yeah, you can get it online. There's a lot of reasons why that's not as convenient as you might think, but it's a word to the wise for those that want to. John has a number up in the store. Maybe those that are interested can make some noise. No papers. I just never thought I'd see the day.
Whose decision is that?
It was the vendor, not
Great.
the two merchants. Obviously has to do with costs and probably how much they're doing. We know we never get papers on a snowy day, that's already a thing somehow, but, yeah, it was very drastic and sudden. And I said, well, you mean Sunday? No Sunday. Well, summer, no, probably not summer either. And I thought, this may be of interest for those that have not yet seen this little flyer. But for those of us who bought a paper yesterday, I'm almost thinking I'll cherish it. It is what it is. Today, no more papers. Sadly.
Anyone else? Okay, we'll move right into highway. Randy?
Okay, few things. First of all, the last snowstorm, not this weekend, before that, Thursday, week and a half ago, 225, our 2012 pickup truck was in an accident. Damage only to that truck itself. Started sliding in the snow, went off the road, rested up against trees in the ditch. Somebody driving by was willing to stop. He had no cell service where he was, and at that time our radios were not up to date with the county's new privacy code enhancement that the jail did about a year ago and on a grant. And then this excluded all the highway departments. They did the fire departments and the ambulance corps, but kind of forgot about the highway departments needing to be able to talk to the jail. That came up also in the Halloween storm, and now it's been rectified, at least for the town of Lake Pleasant. So somebody pulled him out, and we have now filed it with the insurance company. They've come and sent their adjuster up, and at due time, when we have more vehicles in the fleet, we will be able to send this one away. It's a recycling truck. Minor damage, grill, dent in the bumper, dent in the fender. Still all the essentials are there, so it's still roadworthy. No bodily harm or anything like that. So it was just south of $1 Million Corner on that straightaway. The next, probably a little more sensitive issue coming up. The trail behind, snowmobile trail this is going into, behind the businesses, we call it the business access trail. One of the landowners has blocked access through their property, which is used to get to the mountain market. Since this all transpired and the snowmobile club president got back from vacation, him and I talked to John Lane and came up with a solution for this year through the liquor store, across the daycare center's parking lot, and then out the back of their parking lot to the existing trail that goes out behind the school. So people have been talking about, and you've seen a petition going around to open up the sidewalks again.
They have.
At this point in time, I don't feel that's necessary. Whether or not more people close their access down, that's to be seen in later dates. But right now, we have a viable access to that trail system. The club's going to cut it out Saturday, the trail. So, crisis averted on that, thanks to John Lane and properties he owns and the liquor store. The next is DOT, well, not DOT, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, federal, has enacted 4 years ago, a new law that is now going to take effect as of January 6th. All of our CDL drivers are going to have to be entered into what they're calling a clearinghouse for the drug and alcohol testing. Their name, well, not their name, their driver's license number and whether or not they pass or fail their random drug tests will be entered into this clearinghouse database. And then if they go and apply to another job, or anybody comes to us and applies with us, we have to run their driver's license numbers through this database, and it will say if they failed a drug test, and if so, how long ago, blah, 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 blah. So it's a way that the federal government is going to try to catch people from losing their job at one place, not telling their future employer that they failed, and move on. That being said, we have to have a consent form in our handbook, and everybody, all the drivers sign it to be able to enter their name, or not name, driver's license number into this database. Basically allowing us to broadcast that they're failed or negative.
Did you see that was just in the last 3 years of hire?
Yes.
Or everybody?
Anybody that's not been with us for 3 years. Everybody's gonna have to be in a database, but we have to, that's the next step. We have to actually physically run anybody that hasn't been drug tested for us in the last 3 years. We know our current employees have been passing, but anybody that hasn't been drug tested consistently for 3 years for us, we have to then, once their name's entered into this, there's a fee involved of $1.25 per time that we do one of these inquiries to the federal government. So we have 4 employees, 3 that have CDL licenses now that haven't, no, 4, that haven't been with us for 3 years. So we'll have to,
We have to have them tested
nope,
prior?
we're doing it as a testing,
It's
constant.
random, isn't it?
It's random. They're in our program.
Okay,
It's the fact that they're not in this brand new
yep, okay. It's just a
database.
matter of getting registered, is really
Yes.
the issue
And
is, and
then,
permission.
then we have to, once they're in it, then we have to check their driver's license numbers in this database to make sure that if they've been employed for a year, 2 years ago, they didn't fail a drug test, and that's why they came looking for a job.
Okay,
Because legally, with that whole, it's, not only are they caught with us, but if they were caught up to 3 years ago, they are not allowed by the federal standards to drive anything with a CDL license.
is that for a period of time, or?
3 years.
Okay,
So this is their way of catching the guys that are jumping from job to job to job to job.
yeah,
But that being said, I need a resolution saying that we can add this, I can pass it around. Basically, it's just a consent that we enter them into the database. Myself included, obviously. Anybody with a CDL license.
Cut and dry.
It came right off their
Yeah.
And when they
sample.
pass the drug test, is that posted also?
No, only negatives are posted.
Okay.
That's the only thing they wanna know about.
well, I think
But when
makes
they,
sense, yeah.
if that individual has a negative and then they've served their 3 years, there is something that goes on their record saying that they've served their time and so on. So it's not supposed to come back and haunt them forever and ever.
So we're looking for a resolution to add this consent form to our handbook.
Correct.
No, I think I could move that.
Okay, moved by Bob, you have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And pass.
And then the next, we have a minor heating issue. One of the zone valves is not functioning in the health center. We've manually bypassed it and letting the fans do the controlling of the heat. But that's scheduling a technician to come up this week. He said he's gonna call me tomorrow with a time, so.
Is that part of the new stuff that we did?
No, that's air
That was
conditioning.
air
Oh,
conditioning.
Yeah, they wanted, if you remember, I came to us with a great big, let's go through the whole health center, really big number thing, that would have been involved in this, but it's still, that was a huge number. If I remember right.
we'll do it in dribs and drabs.
That's hot air, right?
It's, yes, hot air, but it's got a,
Right, a bath,
get baffled downstairs, and that's where the zone valve
pretty
is.
much is,
Once again, it's going to snow again tomorrow, and please follow all the rules and regulations as far as parking. And plowing across streets is still illegal, you know, all those lovely things that happen. That's it.
That's it? Okay. We'll move into old business. First thing I have on the agenda is the LED conversion for the town building, which was tabled at the last meeting. I spoke with James Bono, and he said he'll make himself available. If we have any questions, we can get him on the phone.
Who is that, Dan? I'm sorry.
His name's James Bono. Buono. Questions? Nancy, your concern was how we were gonna pay for it out of this year's money or next year's money?
Still wondering.
Any preference?
I'm sure they
If
don't
we-
have time to do it before the end of the year.
No, I got it.
No, we wouldn't prepay it, that's for sure, so it would
No.
have to be the
Yeah.
2020 budget, I assume,
Right.
which technically it's not in there. However, in theory,
There was wiggle room in this year's budget for that, but we're just going to.
well, in theory, if you pay for it over the course of time, the reduction is supposed to be about equal to what your current
It was several-
energy use is.
Right, it would have been several years before we,
Well, depending on which one you took, one was like
Right.
4.32 or something, the other was 3.8, something like that, if I remember.
Right here.
Probably have it here.
There you go. I think it's the next page.
44.8 months, so that's like a little over
almost 4 years.
3.5 years, a little over 3.5 years. And wasn't there another option?
Back right here. That was on the monthly payments versus after savings.
Wasn't there a substantial discount for paying the full amount?
Well,
Right here.
yeah, you can pay the full amount, which looks like the project cost is $48.30.
There was a. That one's the payback is 3.36 years.
It's not that much difference in payback.
No, no, it really isn't. And,
One of the other advantages of doing this though is the life of the bulbs. Not that you're changing bulbs all the time, but
Right.
the average life of these LED bulbs are what, 10,000 hours, I think it was.
and it's supposed to save 70, monthly energy savings is supposed to be $75.
Over 50,000 hour life. So,
So we have to date those when you put them in and make sure you get the,
yeah.
and then,
Okay, we'll put
and then
a magic
record when
marker.
they're on.
Yeah.
So that's the story, so.
And
Do
the
we
timer
wanna
lights are-
see what an independent contractor would charge us to do the same thing?
But they actually are an independent
They are
contractor for
independent
National Grid, but they also take advantage of the discounts applied from National Grid and pass them on to us. That's what struck me as a incentive to do it, but doesn't really matter. I mean, it looks like a pretty good deal, but
Anything to get the shop brighter.
yeah, and it
Oh, I see.
definitely is much brighter.
This is the group that would do it.
Right.
Well, I think we should do it. So is it a question of just, do we wanna do it and then decide how we're gonna pay for it or what?
Well, it appears it's gonna roll into 2020 in either.
It would have to go into 2020, yeah.
Certainly we're not gonna do it in the next 2.5 weeks, that's for sure. Nothing happens Christmas week anyway.
No.
How much is the payment? Was it about 4,000? The one-time payment?
Yeah, second, I think the last page maybe where it gives the total amount,
Oh, oops.
Last page on the back.
Customer cost, 3,000.
48 something maybe.
Yeah, project cost 4830. Wonder if we appropriated fund balance from this year for that? Like $5,000 in fund balance from this year's budget into that. Just thinking out loud.
Thoughts? Anyone?
Well, I like Nancy's idea.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we should appropriate some $5,000 in fund balance from this year to go towards that project to help defray the cost if we're gonna do it.
We can do that. Well, in favor of doing this, with appropriated fund balance from this year's budget of $5,000?
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, you're moving it? Or Nancy moved it?
No, I didn't move anything yet. At the, I guess the second meeting in November, we had $6,526 left on the line for buildings electric. So there'll be the bills that,
It just came in today.
yeah, just came in today. So I would think that there'd be almost that much left.
It'd be close.
Right, to put that towards appropriated fund balance.
And the savings would be not, what, according to the estimate, would be $900 for 2020.
Anyone moving this?
I'll move it.
Okay, moved by Nancy. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
So in the event it's less than 5,000, then whatever's there.
Yeah,
Yeah, got it. Okay, that works.
we'll go to lunch.
Next item I had was Nancy sent me an email in reference to the personal property on the right of way on 175 Golf Course Road. I honestly feel because we don't have a true list of all of the right of way owners that if we're gonna do this, it should be done by public notice. That way nobody's missed.
We don't have a full list? I thought we did.
Every time I've sent stuff out, there's been people who said they weren't on the list that should be on the list. So I don't feel comfortable with the list we have.
And the public notice would go on the website and the Hamilton County Express.
Yep.
Just want to make sure that these people get notice, because that was the concern the last time, that they weren't notified before the
Why
sign
not do
went up.
both?
Excuse me?
Send it to them, send them a copy of the public notice.
I could attach something to the sign that definitely got attention.
I was down there a week or so ago, looks like there's just a couple of old pieces of dock and some other things that probably should be thrown out anyway.
What is the mean high water mark?
I'm sorry?
What is the mean high water mark?
1729.30, I believe it is. I don't know right off the top of my head, but I can give you that, 1729.30, I believe. If that's not correct, I'll let you know.
Okay.
But that really doesn't mean anything, because we don't know.
Well, I know where the dock pieces are that Dan's referring to, and I honestly thought that the high water mark was gonna be more toward Golf Course Road than those docks are.
Yeah, that's what it would have been my guess.
Yeah,
Goes to show you my guess.
so in relationship to the docks, it's are they entirely on above the mean high water mark?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, okay.
According to the survey mark and the elevation mark that we came up with,
It's a surprise,
Hopefully
that's
so.
all.
And that's well marked?
We haven't met yet.
we haven't done that, we just need a hammer drill.
Yeah.
It's well marked right now, but we can make it well marked even
Better
better.
do more permanent, okay,
Yeah.
understand, yep.
And the second part of that was to find out about the dock that's in the water. I just still find it very hard to believe that if it truly is on state land, that there are no permits required to place a personal dock on someone else's property.
Don't give them any
Water.
ideas.
I had a
The state.
conversation with the attorney about that, and we both feel that that's a legal issue dealt with DEC.
Right, but that's what I'm saying,
It's not something the town should be involved in.
Oh, agree.
so then we can just go over to Moffitt's and start throwing some docks in.
You could try that.
Might not wanna put your name on that.
Right.
So, I mean, my suggestion would be that we notify the names that we have, as well as a public notice, and include in that the public notice.
Okay?
I mean, that's just a suggestion, that way they know what other people know.
And if someone else comes back and says, I'm not on there, then we'll make sure we put them on there and get them a copy.
Okay?
That's not a direction, it's just a suggestion.
No, that's fine, I can do that. I just don't feel comfortable with those stuff we have.
Just doing the one, right, I understand.
Yeah. Okay, that's that. Next item we have is the resolution for public hearing on the amendment to law 1 of 2011, which will be scheduled for 1/6/2020, right, Deb?
I just need the authority to say I can advertise for that to go in the paper. And that's gonna be in the paper for the meeting's gonna be January 6th at 7:45, but we'll open it up for the local law if anybody has any questions about it. Otherwise, and get that right in the paper and then send that on to the Secretary of State for the amendment.
Right.
I'll move.
Thanks, Nancy.
Moved by Nancy,
Second.
Thanks, Mike.
second by Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any other old business?
No, well, it's kind of old. We did send a card out to Annie Weaver. I don't know if everybody knew that she was in the hospital. I think she might have gotten out, maybe.
She got out,
she's
she led the chorus yesterday.
Okay, so I just want to let you know that I did get a card out from everybody at the town hall.
Thank you.
And I don't know where this would fit in, but Sammy DeRocher was gonna come to tonight's meeting. She just wanted to report that the hockey games were a fabulous success for the kids, and the ski lessons have started, and everything's going well.
Good.
So the
The rental
The rental
situation is all
situation
taken care
is
of.
taken care of?
Yes, and, yeah, she and her son are both sick, so I thought it was good that she decided not to come.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Thank you very much.
New business, anyone? Okay,
You have to establish the, certainly a final
final
word
board meeting for, yeah,
final abstract.
well, let's pick a date. Let me see here.
Are you talking to Bill Payne with that?
Yeah. Don't we have to do that, correct? 31st is a Tuesday, the 30th is a Monday.
The 30th?
I think we were thinking the 30th with her.
And is that gonna be a regular 7 o'clock, or you do a 5 o'clock, or what's?
Well, normally Kathy usually gets those bills done. I mean, are you gonna want a meeting in itself, or is the board members just coming in to okay the bills?
I don't know, I don't know that we have to have a meeting, as long as everybody's
just do a bill
willing to sign
paying
the
session.
abstract.
Want to do that at,
Well, usually what we do is
4 to
Kathy has the
6?
bills ready by 4.
4 to 6?
The bills can be approved then.
Between 4 and
4 to 6, and that's gonna be the 30th, so I gotta put that in paper too. Okay.
And that's not a formal meeting, that's just a matter of signing the.
Right, I just gotta advertise that everybody's gotta get the bills to her by then.
by probably the week before.
27th?
Yeah.
So that notice has to go in the paper as well.
I just noticed that if any vendors have anything that that all the bills will have to be in to the office by the 27th. And that,
There's always a lot of stragglers in there.
November 27th, you're saying?
December,
December 27th.
That's when the bill's gotta be in, but we're
right.
gonna,
And then
we're gonna,
you'll review them between 4 and 6 on the 30th.
Okay.
maybe help with Bobby to actually put the date in there.
All right. Any other new business?
Well, according to the Board of Elections and according to the Association of Towns, the town has to, the current board would have to establish a meeting notice for the 2020 board to nominate a supervisor because of the failure to elect by the, so I have a resolution to that effect that the town of Lake Pleasant will be holding a special meeting on January 1st, 2020 at 11 a.m. for the purpose of appointing a 2020 town supervisor for a one-year term. Whereas due to the failure to elect, 2020 town board will appoint a town supervisor for 1 year. Be it resolved that the 2020 town of Lake Pleasant board will be holding a special meeting January 1, 2020 at 11 a.m. at the Lake Pleasant Municipal Center, 2679 State Route 8, Lake Pleasant, New York, for the purpose of appointing the 2020 town supervisor. So I'll offer that.
Bob, you're moving that?
I'll move that.
Do we have a second? Second by Mike. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good. That was at 11 o'clock.
I'm sorry, what?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. Yeah. Everybody ought to be able to be up to that, right?
Yeah.
Might not be eating, but you can be up.
Okay, now I'll entertain now for a motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
We do have one bill that striking, bill number 798. Do we have a motion?
Kristen.
Chris,
Oh, Chris,
I'll second.
second by Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. And we're back to public comments.
Yeah, I have a comment. Jeanette Barrett from Speculator. Randy, I just want to ask a clarification for the new snowmobile trail. I understood that it was going from the liquor store, crossing across to the storage units, rather than the daycare center.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make that clear. Thank you.
Well, he didn't care either parking area that we went through, but we thought the traffic would be much better behind the garages.
The storage unit, yes, good, thanks.
So it'll run to the south of the storage building?
Correct, up alongside that woods line.
Try to get as close to Neil's house as we can.
Exactly.
Very well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else? Trudy?
On those LED lights for the town buildings, has anybody checked with National Grid to see if they have a rebate on the LED conversion? Because some of your other power companies are offering communities, public buildings or big companies,
Sign up right there.
rebate on every unit that they
As part of the proposal is an incentive from National Grid of $1,471.
per unit? They're gonna rebate per unit?
No, that's not per unit. From the total cost of the project.
So that reduces the project to that cost.
Yeah,
I know on those LED units, some of them, that are you gonna do the 2x4, like in the office and stuff like that? Those are the units you're gonna replace?
I don't have the list with me.
Which ones were you asking about?
Cause on those 2x4 units, some of them are replacements for the 2-unit fluorescent, and then we make another one that's a replacement for the 4. And naturally, if you replace the 4 with a 2-unit LED, you're not gonna get the illumination that you got from the fluorescent.
Yeah, there's 9
I
of
think
them.
we'll leave that up to the electricians.
Yeah.
If I can make a comment, we replaced our 4-unit fluorescent with 2-unit LEDs, and they give us more light than the fluorescent bulbs. And they fit really well as.
They make a low replacement one and a high, so if you're doing the ceilings in the the working part, just make sure you get the ones that's made for a high ceiling, so. But if you want some prices on some of them, my son is an electrician, and he said he could get together with Randy if if you wanted to get some real tight prices on them.
That's up to you guys.
I believe it's all been included in that.
Yeah, that's all included in this.
There's
Yeah.
also a couple of outfits out there are selling bulbs, they're replacements, and some of them are only they have a 1-year warranty, and then there's another company that has a 5-year warranty on their stuff, so it might be something that you can make sure. Why I bring it up, because last night I was talking to my son, and they did a building out there in Indiana, they put over 500 units in the building, and the company got a rebate from the power company, $30 for each unit that they put in, so a lot more than $71. That's all I got.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roundtable, Deb?
I have a question. Those little Verizon towers, is that kind of set where they're gonna be put, or is this something that's?
I did, after the last conversation we had at the last meeting, I did mention that I was proposing to see if they were putting at the transfer station. I'll copy an email to you, that is not one of the locations that they want to put one at now. Although, I'll forward the email to you, it's in their RRA as a possible site later though.
I was wondering, because they're gonna put one at the highway department and one at the county complex, so that seems kind of redundant almost.
The spacing is 1,000 feet, so
Yeah.
they want better coverage of both
Doesn't go that
facilities.
far.
Don't go far at all.
Yeah.
Also, transfer station wouldn't help me anyway.
What about the cemetery? Will that work?
Yeah, that would work.
I mean,
Why not?
it's just a
Yeah.
pole, because it's between the road and
Yeah.
the bottom of that. I mean,
I'll suggest that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of the cemetery.
Yeah.
I
Forgot
think you
about
ought to put it up
We got
on
three
top of the
of
cemetery.
Oh, good thinking.
It's going down to the mountains,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's uphill.
We did receive the MOA from Verizon, though we're coordinating with the county and the village on that. It's being reviewed by the attorneys at this time, so,
Thank you.
For that,
for the small cells, yeah,
I wasn't sure what the initials were.
yeah. Okay, Chris,
Nothing.
Bob?
No, don't think I have anything.
I'd like to take this opportunity to present a couple of plaques here. One to Michael Connor for 8 years of service on the board. Thank you, Mike. And one to Bob. How many years?
I don't know, since you were a boy.
Over 30 years.
I don't like what you guys should
Can
have
I
been
get a
one to
picture of you
the
two and I'll send it into the paper?
Yeah.
What paper?
Other people in other towns will see it.
I know it looks like I'm standing in a hole. So you get my head in my.
Let me make sure I got a good picture.
Like, squat down.
Oh, that's not good of you, Bob. Put that one in. Okay, I got one good one. Thank you.
You can Photoshop them, can't you?
Yeah, send it in, they'll do anything. I do want to thank everybody for tolerating me for all those years. It's been really been a treasure, and I'm going to, I'm gonna miss it. Because I've definitely enjoyed it. And,
So Bob, you took over, because I went back into the minutes.
1984,
So when your father passed away,
yep,
it was Gary and Mrs. Orr that asked you to come on board to replace your dad's.
yep, I finished his term and I had to run.
Right, yeah.
Thanks for your service. And you too, Mike. Mike, do you have anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Now you can go, Mike.
Randy?
Nope.
All right, then, there's no reason to go into executive session. Hearing none, I'll entertain for a motion to adjourn. Anyone?
I so moved.
That's appropriate.
Any second?
Mike.
Mike? All in favor? Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. You might need it.